Regardless of what you think of Umamusume, everyone can agree that it's a pretty successful franchise. You could be a 45-year-old war veteran, literally Ryan Gosling, and you would still be able to answer the question of who your favorite Umamusume is. Obviously, the only correct answers are Rice Shower, Manhattan Cafe, and Oguri Cap. Umamusume is an innovator, and when there are innovators in any industry, there will inevitably be cheap knockoffs. For example, Microsoft Windows famously ripped off the branding from Microsoft Bimbos, and McDonald's had the audacity to steal the brand name of McDonald's as a joke. That's where the subject of today's video comes in, Winning Derby. Let's cut straight to the point. This game is absolute dog shit. Dude, I'll be real with you here, I immediately knew that the UI was from Arknights, and holy fucking clankers, dude! All the art here is AI generated. See, what makes Winning Derby unique from Umamusume Pretty Derby is that instead of training Umamusume like a fucking peasant, you're able to train your Winbee. So you're able to train your Winbee much like your regular Umamusume, but instead of being limited by your energy, you pay to train your Winbee. Instead of training speed, stamina, power, guts, wit, and skill points, you train, and I shit you not, Staminar. That's how it's spelled, by the way, Staminar. Speed, your jump, your focus, and dexterity. The Winbees in this game aren't even fictional, by the way. They somehow got Seiyon Sky in this game and beat Umamusume to the punch with getting American Pharaoh into the game. I don't know if they are even officially licensed or if they are just pulling some shady backdoor shit, but regardless, it is bad. There are plenty more videos clowning on this game's gameplay, and I only suggest that you watch it after finishing my video. Wink wink. But what these people don't delve into is who is Winning Derby and why is Winning Derby. So let me handle that for you. Winning Derby was developed by, and I assume is also published by, ML Interactive. Considering the insane language barrier and how difficult it even is to translate the articles on this topic, the most I can find out of ML Interactive is that Winning Derby was their only game. No history, no previous games developed, nothing. They were straight raw dogging it with this game, and we can tell that this is their first game. So the reason this game was even allowed to escape the concept stage was because of this program by the Hong Kong government, which allows for aspiring game developers to receive support. By that I mean a 550,000 Hong Kong dollar loan for marketing, a chance to exhibit their game at the Tokyo Game Show, courtesy of the Hong Kong government I assume, along with guidance from industry experts, training on marketing, game testing, and fundraising, and they get 2 free interns who will help with game development in exchange for that being on their resume. The 2 interns who unfortunately got assigned to Winning Derby are on suicide watch as we speak. However, obviously, the developers under the program have to abide by terms and conditions, especially when money and reputation are on the line. Most relevant to this story is the rule about intellectual property, and I quote, "The applicant should fully own the intellectual property right. Otherwise, the organizer will reject its application without prior notice." Clearly, someone didn't read the terms and conditions. It's okay, we're only human. But of course, as per the rule of fuck around and find out, the Hong Kong government found out that Winning Derby was bar for bar like Umamusume. And alongside that, the UI was clearly copied bar for bar from Arknights, which I think could have been the straw that broke the camel's back, because Arknights is a Chinese property, and if they wanted to, Hypergriff or Yostar could sodomize the literal shit out of the Hong Kong government if this was allowed to continue existing. So the Hong Kong government forced ML Interactive to return the promotion money, 550k Hong Kong dollars. It's 70k USD, but still, it's a lot of money. I'm just saying, I'll take a sponsorship if I have to. Doesn't mean I'll say nice things about it though. But is it really that bad? I mean, listen, Azur Lane is in the same lane as Kantai Collection, and Azur Lane is... Who am I kidding? Of course it is! Azur Lane does exist in the same lane as Kankole, but they aren't the same game as each other, at least from what I've seen. The main difference is that Zuikaku from Kantai Collection is flat, and the Zuikaku from Azur Lane is obviously stacked. We still love flat women though. I'll admit, I don't play Kankole since it's a pain in the ass to install, and that's coming from a guy who uses RPCS3 by the way. I can't play Need for Speed Pro Street because the bitch keeps crashing and the audio keeps getting fucked up. And the controls are so unbelievably optimized on the keyboard that I can't pull the same shit that I do with PCSX2. That's bullshit! Emulator tangent aside, we must address the elephant in the room. AI. Why is AI imagery a bad thing? Aside from stealing from and displacing artists, and the numerous environmental issues that data centers cause, marketing and business-wise, it's just a dick move. AI is gonna be part of our lives, but not like this. AI imagery is so unbelievably soulless and canny that anyone would get creeped out by looking at it. Also, while you're saving up on whatever you're planning on paying artists, you're losing out on sales because if you have AI imagery front and center, again, people will look at this and see that you're cheaping out. And worse, they get creeped out from buying the product. Unless you're Coca-Cola, then you're too big to fail. But if you're a startup company, don't do this shit. So tying this back to gacha games, the art style of the game is the espresso in the game's Americano. If you can't tell, I really need coffee right now. Arknights has this grim aesthetic to it with all its muted colors. Blue Archive is cute and funny, so is Umamusume, and Azur Lane has a lot of boobs. I suppose I should put Nikke in the conversation then. So, if you pull a winning derby and put clankers front and center in your gacha game, where the art style and aesthetic is what people associate with the game the most, then people are gonna think that your game is dog shit, even if it has Zenless Zone Zero's gameplay. Now then, let's address the other elephant in the room. Recently, Cygames was going to open up a branch of their company solely dedicated to AI. What makes this particularly controversial was that they were opening up jobs for image generation. Oh no! Though in their defense, there are plenty of other uses for AI that do not involve image generation, such as debugging first and foremost, but then in their job openings, they had openings for an AI specialist in image generation and latent diffusion model engineer. Basically, you're typing prompts into ChatGPT as a job. They were obviously bullied into saying, "Guys, we wouldn't do anything without prior notice," winky face. And this was a major PR hit for Cygames, safe to say. Look, if you guys are going to take anything useful away from this video, it's that AI is a very, very, very gray area. On one hand, it's bad for all the copyright violations, the potential generation of illegal imagery, the steamrolling of hardworking artists, and environmental issues, but at the same time, it's not all bad. Hot take, but there are actually good ways in which you could use AI technology. For tedious stuff like simulation, getting a base for your code, or anything that doesn't completely replace the creative or thinking process, like what I'm doing, it's all human, no clanker in this script, file, or editing timeline. Even coding with AI when you don't know what the fuck you're doing could give you a major headache down the line with all the potential bugs in the code. With that being said, new video in probably like 10 days or so. Bye bye.